Well, it's been a couple of days since I actually put out the Vic Mignogna court documents, and mostly because a lot of other stuff has happened this week. As you saw in the previous videos, we've had a lot of people coming out with the Me Too movement. A lot of it is actually turning out to be fake as well, which is absolutely just mind-blowing because 2020 has just been a shit year for everyone, and all of a sudden you got these people coming out saying, so-and-so did this to me, so-and-so did that to me. But then that person comes out and they're like, actually, I got all the evidence to say none of that happened. I got witnesses saying this never happened and you were doing this. So when you see that and you hear things, it's like, oh my God, why are these people trying to destroy others? But there's one thing I do want to point out for one thing, and that is, it's innocent until proven guilty. That is it. That is why I stick up for quite a few people when there's no evidence which has been submitted or even shown. If there is evidence, I will read through the evidence and I'll make my opinion up then. But if there's no evidence and people all they're saying is hearsay, then a lot of us will look into it. We look at different things. We look at when they said it happened, where it happened, if it was a convention, if it was a gaming conference, whatever. We will look into it and we will see if that person was there. And then we will also try and speak to people involved. But that's another story. That's another video for another time. We're going to look at the following. So we have here the Appellant's sure reply brief to Jamie Marchi's brief. Oral argument requested. So obviously we got all the addresses, we got the table of contents. So here we go for the arguments. The evidence before the trial did not support its determination that Vic was a public figure. Vic established by clear and specific evidence a prima facie case for each of his claims against Jamie Marchi, as well as the genuine issues of material fact therein. Vic met his burden of raising the existence of fact issues. Vic established by clear and specific evidence for his defamation claims against Jamie Marchi. Then you have the record establishes when, where and what the statement said. The record establishes the nature of the statements. And the record establishes that the statements damaged Vic. Vic established by clear and specific evidence for his tortious interference with existing contract claims against her. And as you can see, there's quite a few of them. Mostly, they're all the same. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into them now. We are currently on, I believe it's 38 pages, this. But as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that's blank on it. So, issues presented. The evidence before the trial court did not support his determination that Vic was a public figure. He is sufficiently established by clear and specific evidence that the essential elements of his claims against Jamie Marchi, there we go, 37, sorry. The evidence admitted at trial was insufficient to establish Jamie Marchi's defence. The trial court's award of attorney fees and sanctions against Vic constitutes reversible error. So, we got the reply first. Vic maintains and refers to this court in his statement of facts in his appellant's brief. Vic provides this reply to bring this court's attention to two specific instances that Jamie Marchi's unsupported or unfairly distorted factual allegations and to highlight the importance of certain critical facts. First, Jamie Marchi grossly mischaracterizes Vic's prominence. She represents to this court that Vic has testified that he can hardly walk into a convention without being recognised. The testimony cites by Jamie Marchi reveals that Vic's actual testimony was exactly the opposite. He testified that people don't recognise him. Further, he stated that people attend conventions to celebrate anime, not him, which is very true. Second, Jamie Marchi claims that Vic admitted under oath to assaulting her. No, he never. He just said he ran his fingers through her hair. That's what he said. He grabbed it and, again, he never said pull, he never said anything like that, which is what they all want people to believe. The testimony quoted directly in Marchi's brief that Vic touched her hair with his hand does not support any assault. For one, it fails to show that the contact was in any way harmful or offensive. The testimony proves that Vic had no reason to believe it was offensive in any way at the time. Summary of argument. The trial court committed reversible error by failing to resolve all fact issues in favour of Vic as required by the TCPA. Ironically, Jamie Marchi's response proves this. Vic established his claims against Jamie Marchi for defamation, TI with existing contracts, TI with prospective business relations, and civil conspiracy by clear and specific evidence. He also preserved any objections to Jamie Marchi's evidence. The trial court improperly excluded his second amended petition and improperly awarded attorneys' fees and sanctions. This court must reverse and vacate the trial court's October 4th, 2019 order and its final judgment and remand this case for final trial. Now we got the argument for the evidence before the trial. The trial court's order includes a finding that Vic is a public figure, and therefore the trial court erroneously required him to prove actual malice. In a defamation claim, a claimant is either a private figure, general purpose public figure, or limited purpose public figure. General purpose public figures are individuals who achieve such pervasive fame or notoriety, that they become public figures for all purposes and in all contexts. Limited purpose public figures are persons who thrust themselves to the forefront of particular public controversies in order to influence the resolution of the issue involved, inviting attention and comment, who they inject themselves or are drawn into a particular public controversy, assuming special prominence in the resolutions of public questions. Excuse me for the vans that's coming past the house. Assuming special prominence in the resolution of public questions, or who thrust themselves into the vortex of a public issue, or they engage the public's attention in an attempt to influence its outcome. Marchi's evidence fails to establish that Vic is either general purpose or limited purpose. To support her contention, Marchi directs the court to the following. Vic is a voice actor in the genre of anime. Vic is credited with over 356 productions on the website IMDb, and that Vic voiced a title character in Dragon Ball Super Broly, which he did. However, on page 2 of her brief, when alleging these facts, she grossly mischaracterizes and blatantly falsifies the record. First, Marchi states that Vic is one of the most ubiquitous voice actors in the anime genre, and in support of that contention cites two. Specifically, Marchi cites the following. Okay, yeah, your IMDb page says that you've been in over 356 productions. Does that sound... See, I don't even know. I mean I said over 300, and I didn't even know. She cites is an outright falsehood and fails to support her assertion that Vic is one of the most ubiquitous voice actors in the anime genre. At bottom, Vic's job in the entertainment industry does not make him a general-purpose public figure or a limited-purpose public figure. Second, Marchi states that Vic can hardly walk into an anime convention without immediately being recognised. So, this is what she has said. Question, right, A. You're not recognised. How about when you're at the convention? Well, I mean, yes, because people come there specifically to celebrate anime. Okay. This evidence does not establish that Vic can hardly walk into an anime convention without being immediately recognised. Again, Marchi grossly mischaracterizes the evidence, which she does throughout her entire deposition video. Considering the evidence before the trial court says... Sorry, I've completely gone there. Considering the evidence before the trial court should note have required Vic to establish actual malice or gross negligence. Marchi also claims that Vic failed to allege error about the trial court's determination that he is a public figure, thereby requiring actual malice on the part of Jamie Marchi. As a threshold matter, Vic cannot waive error as to his status as a public figure. So, with all this, now carries on. Let's move the mic up here a little bit so I can stand up. Marchi's claim that Vic has waived his objection to the trial court's finding that he is a public figure contradicts this court's recent opinion in Hoskins v. Fuchs. In Hoskins, at University of Texas, Arlington professor sued an individual for defamation based on the accusations that Fuchs was having a relationship with one of his students. Hoskins sought dismissal under TCPA, and Fuchs conceded at trial and maintained on appeal that he was a public figure. This court found that Fuchs was not a public figure anyway. Right, this is going on about something else obviously has happened, and literally it's stating the same thing regarding Vic. So we're going to move past this and we're going to carry on to by here. Thus, Vic's statement in his pleading does not concede the issue that he is a public figure, nor could he have waived any objection thereto. Further, Jamie Marchi's evidence does not show that Vic was a limited-purpose public figure. Marchi provides no evidence that people other than the immediate participation in this controversy are likely to feel the impact of his resolution. Moreover, the evidence clearly shows that Vic did not seek out this controversy, which he didn't. He didn't seek it out because, again, that would actually be just kind of nuts, because why would you do that? Marchi's agreement fails to acknowledge the irrefutable fact that this controversy was forced upon Vic and not sought out by him. Marchi's statement on Twitter accusing him of this and misconduct cannot make him a public figure. It's going on to another one then, so we're going to carry on straight to by here. Vic testified, "I did not ask for any of this. I was living my life and suddenly out of nowhere this stuff starts. I merely responded to it. There is no evidence suggesting that Vic in any way injected himself into this controversy." Which he never, because if you actually remember back to when this all started, a couple of days before everything came out, he was at the premiere of Dragon Ball Super Broly. Monica was there. Sabat, everyone was there, and they were all hugging him, they were all saying they love him, he's great, he's this. Now all of a sudden, he's this animal? It's like, what? As we carry on, so by here it does say, obviously, Texas Supreme Court, they established orders in 2015, so to go forward and everything else. So we're going to skip down to the bottom part. Even if the trial court probably refused to consider Vic's second amended petition and its attachments, the trial court took all evidence offered into evidence by appellees into consideration. This court must determine if Vic raised the existence of a fact issue within the evidence that the trial court did consider. Many genuine issues of fact exist within the evidence before the trial court, as shown by the conflicting arguments, assertions, and contentions made between his brief and Jamie Marchi's brief, and their respective usage of the record in support thereof. A cursory reading of each brief tables of contents creates a reasonable inference that genuine issues of material fact exist, and pursuant to the above referenced rule from the D Magazine Partners case, this court must indulge this reasonable inference that genuine issues of material fact exist in favour of Vic. Vic's established by clear and specific evidence for his defamation claim against Jamie Marchi. So again, it says about another Supreme Court in Lipsky establishes that in a case of defamation implicating the TCPA, when the pleadings and evidence establish the facts of 1, when, where and what was said, 2, the defamatory nature of the statements, and 3, how the statements damaged the plaintiff. So, we got A, the record sufficiently establishes when, where and what the defamatory statement said. So, Vic's defamation claim must include evidence that Jamie Marchi published a false statement of fact to a third party. All the appellees offered sufficient evidence within their TCPA motions to meet this standard. Jamie Marchi offered her published defamatory tweets. Marchi did not deny in her TCPA motion to dismiss during the hearing, nor in her response, that she published a statement. On February the 8th, 2019 on Twitter, she had not denied the statement she made about him on Twitter for other people to read, and Marchi did admitted her publication, content, and the surrounding circumstances of her defamatory statements. Obviously, Jamie Marchi is again untruthful to this court when she states that the February 8th tweet does not reference him or what he did to Jamie Marchi. Marchi published Vic's name and accused him of this in her statement attached to a TCPA motion to dismiss, but conveniently does not include her entire statement in her brief. So we got Marchi admits the February 8th tweet is a statement of fact. Marchi claims that Vic's defamation claim fails because it purportedly fails to provide the full context of the statements made in the undated tweet, and because it's not a statement of fact. In her tweet, she stated, "Vic is a bad person." Marchi admits she published this statement about him. She also made a statement within this tweet, which was published on Twitter on February 7th, 2019, to be read by the public, to infer that Vic is a bad person, thus making this a fact statement, which it is. If you just go online and say, so-and-so's this, a lot of people are going to take your opinion as fact. And they're like, oh my god, what's happened? What has he done? Perfect example is, at this moment in time, with this whole Me Too movement, we are seeing people coming out with false allegations, which have been proven to be false. But people still believe them because, again, some people, they just haven't got the brain that they were born with. So, as noted, Vic merely must show the existence of a fact issue within the evidence that was before the court for its consideration. Jamie Marchi's assertion that Vic's defamation claim fails because it purportedly fails to provide the full context of the statements made in the undated tweet is incorrect because, as previously mentioned, the evidence taken into consideration by the court included the entire record, save and accept Vic's second amended petition and attachments thereto. Jamie Marchi's assertion that Vic's claim should fail because he did not provide the full context of the undated tweet is not only non-sequential, but is also dishonest, considering the evidence in a TCPA motion to dismiss. She cannot claim that Vic's defamation claim in regard to the undated tweet should fail, due to the court not having the full context. When Marchi herself presented the full context of the undated tweet in an attachment to defendant Jamie Marchi's motion to dismiss pursuant to the TCPA Act, filed with the trial court on July 19th, 2019. Furthermore, any statement is construed as a whole in light of the surrounding circumstances based upon how a person of ordinary intelligence would perceive it. Therefore, Jamie Marchi's statements about him must be viewed through the prism of how a person of ordinary intelligence would perceive each individual statement. Vic's defamation claim evidence must establish that Jamie Marchi published a defamatory statement that referred to Vic, which he did. That is, Vic, directly or indirectly, identified in Marchi's defamatory statement, which he did. We saw it all. And as you can see, it does say on that, he shows indirectly who knows him, are acquainted with him, understand the statement refers to him. It's not necessary that every listener understands this reference. Jamie Marchi's defamatory statement in the February 7th tweet also referred to him. A statement can still defame Vic, which is very, very true. Which we've seen. We have seen a lot of stuff like this happen over the last couple of months. So, although Marchi's February 7th, not March 7th, although Jamie Marchi's February the 7th tweet does not refer to Vic by name, as her other two tweets did, the February 7th tweet still defames him as evidenced by the replies to said tweet, which illustrate that the responders were aware that the tweet referred to Vic. Marchi continues to intentionally mislead this honourable court in a response brief by stating that Vic expressly admits that the February 7th tweet doesn't reference him. To support this falsehood, she cites the record at CR. Only the last 5 lines of the cited text are relevant. And my question might sound familiar to you. The first one is your name stated in this tweet? No, sir. Is there any direct reference to you that you can see? No, sir. Nowhere in this text does Vic agree the tweet is not in reference to him. In order to maintain his defamation claim, Vic must show evidence that the defamatory statement is false. Vic was not required at the TCPA hearing to prove her statements were false. That said, if the trial court incorrectly determined he was a limited-purpose public figure, Vic had to show that Marchi's statements were false. He did so through his denial, which the trial court erroneously failed to accept as true. The record sufficiently establishes the defamatory nature of the statements, as well as the genuine issues of material facts therein. The evidence establishing the defamatory nature of the statement goes toward Vic's defamation claim, which is that in order for a statement to be defamatory, it must have been defamatory concerning the plaintiff. Jamie Marchi's tweets constitute libel per se, as they contain either references to false allegations and or direct accusations of this or misconduct by Vic. These statements are libelous per se under both the statutory definition and also under the common law categories of defamatory speech which imputes crime and imputes misconduct. As you can see there, then, the evidence establishing the defamatory nature of the statement goes towards Vic's claim, which is that with regard to the truth of the statement, Marchi acted negligently, which he did. And he just goes on saying, Texas lawyer goes on. And it's actually quite a good document. Say, we are on page 22 at the moment, which I'm going to stop by there. I will leave the link below to the whole lot of the actual documents. Because we got a couple there. We actually got one regarding Defamation, and we actually have another one regarding Monica and Ron. And I just want to end on this part by here. It's innocent until proven guilty, guys. Everyone should remember that. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see all you wonderful people soon.